Good morning, good morning, do 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 do. Good morning to you. Welcome to a daily dose of joy, where regardless of what is going on around us, we realize we are in charge of how we feel. We are responsible for how we react to the world around us. So we are choosing joy to the best of our ability, incrementally, every day, better and better. And we are leveraging applied neuroscience to optimize the positive neurotransmitters in our brain to help us to choose joy, to help us to have a joy bias as opposed to a negativity bias. And we're doing it here on a daily dose of joy and on the microdosing hotline in solidarity. Together we rise. Together we rise. And we use these fun little microdosing tools. 5 minutes here with me in the morning and then throughout your day to habituate the brain to produce positive neurotransmitters, which creates an easier default state to find the joy and the beauty that is usually all around us in our day. It will surprise and delight us when our eyes are open to those possibilities. We are doing it, we are doing it, we are doing it together. We rise. And I am home after a fun few days at the farm and another few days with friends at the beach. The Golden Isles of Georgia. We were on the coast, and it's called the Golden Isles because of all the estuaries there. It's the Georgia Bight along the East Coast is an amazing estuary and ecosystem that feeds. It's like a nursery for the Atlantic Ocean. It's really wonderful and amazing, especially at sunrise, to see the golden marshes. And they're called gold because the marsh grass in the sunlight can just look like acres and acres of golden grass. It feeds my soul. It's so beautiful. And at the same time, just over here out my window is an autumn fern unfurling and a giant magnolia and a beautiful little astilbe just sprouting up. Oh, and a mayapple, which is a native plant. So there are opportunities to have a joy bias, to let our day surprise and delight us no matter where we are. Look onto something in your room today and see if you can find the beauty in it. There's beauty in almost anything through the right lens. At the same time, I do understand. I know that it can seem like we're looking through the glass darkly and it's foggy and hard. Just try a little, just a little of looking for the joy, basking in the joy. And that's what you're doing here with me every morning, is letting your mirror neurons mirror the positive neurochemistry and the positive experience that I'm feeling, so that day by day by day, it gets easier and easier to laugh and to see the beauty in life. Thank you for coming and being here with me this morning. And I thought I would tell y'all some Woopsie Daisy stories. Travel. Travel can easily provide Woopsie Daisy stories. I'm laughing just thinking about it. So we'll see what flows, because I've got a number from this trip. I feel relaxed just being here with you guys. I always say it's like a Pavlovian experience. I just start using the microdosing tools and I start yawning, feeling a deeper sense of calm. So, one of them was after a lovely day at the beach. A friend of mine and I were the last to gather up the chairs and pack up the car, and other folks had headed back to the house to make dinner, or kids off to do other things. And so we were on it, doggone it, and having a good time doing it, laughing and playing. But we were very mindful because I had my car had to go into the shop right before the trip. So I'd borrowed a car. I was very mindful of not wanting to get sand in it was actually my mom's lovely car. And so we had carefully wiped the sand off the beach chairs. We laid a towel in the back to put the beach chairs on top of. And then we get into our seats and we keep our feet out and we dust them off really well. But there's some beautiful, fine white sand on the Golden Isles on the coast of Georgia. And I looked at my friend and we were laughing. And she went like this. She went like, and I watched this puff of very fine white sand come off of her. She was totally dry. But the sand, it's so integrated. You know how your bathing suit is like a holding container for beach sand? So it's like all in the crotch. It's everywhere, right? But when she was dry, it got the bulk off, but it was this fine sand. And then I looked down and realized that we were like that creature, the kid from the Peanuts who is like a dust ball. Like, we didn't have like visible sand on us exactly, but I looked down and there was like this cloud of fine sand. And I ran my hand on the armrest and you could see my fingerprints. It was like, whoopsie daisy. We had made every, good attempt to not get sand in the car, aside from like stripping naked and hosing down. Which is apparently what you might need to do. It was so funny. I was like, whoopsie daisy. We had a big laugh out of it because we were like, it was enough sand that it was going to warrant a vacuuming and cleaning of the car, which we could have done with all the other sand that we had so meticulously tried to keep out of the car. And I know you know after a day at the beach, we're some kind of carrier of giant quantities of sand out into the world. I know you've all been to that condo at the beach or house you rented at the beach, and somehow the carpet is got a layer of sand just beneath the top pile. Because somehow, over time, people just bring it in. Oh. Oh my God. And then, it's so funny, and then you also, I know we've all had that experience, that whoopsie daisy experience where you go and you're body surfing in the surf and you get tumbled around in the waves just enough so that you actually get like a baby diaper effect in your swimsuit because it's so full of sand. And you have to wade back out to kind of dislodge all that. Oh, don't you act like you don't know what I'm talking about. We actually came up with a name, some funny names for it. What was it? What was that? Snipple. That's when you get sand in the top part of your bathing suit. You get sandy bits, snipples. Maybe I should go into such detail. But these are the Woopsie Daisy stories of time at the beach. Let's see. There's so many. Another one that came up that I thought was really interesting was we went by a marina that you hit as you go back and forth off the island. And Georgia is a series, lots of islands along the coast, and peninsulas and causeways to the islands, and these golden marshes and beautiful sand dune beaches. And there was a marina that I had been to years before when I was solo sailing. And it was after I'd sailed offshore from further north on the East Coast. And I got in and I went into the restaurant, and I'm so proud of myself. Like, I've done this big sail over a couple of nights on my own down the East Coast. And I sit down, there's a little restaurant. I sit down in the restaurant and I realized I had not been seasick at all, you know. I sat down in the restaurant and realized the restaurant was moving. And it's this phenomenon called land legs, where if you've spent a lot of time on a boat, like days on a boat, sometimes when you go onto land, your vestibular system is still moving. It's adapted to the rock and the sway of the boat. And so I'm like, okay, this is unusual, but all right, I'll have dinner in this restaurant where I feel like I'm swinging in a hammock. So the waiter comes along and we're chatting about my travels, and he goes to refill my water glass, and I hold up my water glass, and then he pours water like onto the table. And I hold it up again, and he pours water, and it like splooshes off the table and all over me, and we're both sort of going, what's going on? And he's like, are you okay? And I put the glass down and realized he's like, you moved your glass. And I was like, oh. I realized that because I was swaying, that I'm holding my glass, he's trying to pour water into it. As he's pouring it, I'm moving the glass. Whoopsie daisy. Totally unaware that I was doing it. And he reacted like I was trying to prank a prank on him, right? Like he's pouring the water. I'm like, whoa, whoa. I remember the time being just red and embarrassed, but pretty quickly, because I had been having a wonderful time, able to start laughing at myself, and the nice waiter was laughing with me as we deduced the confusion. Very humbling Whoopsie Daisy story. With land legs. Have you ever heard of land legs? It's a real thing. Look her up. Oh, I'm sure many people have had all sorts of Whoopsie Daisy stories about sea legs and land legs. Where reality and gravity don't seem quite normal. Oh, Lordy, Lord, Lord, Lord. I hope that those Whoopsie Daisy stories help remind each of us to laugh, laugh, laugh at the inconveniences, even the things that seem really hard. Trying to laugh at even our intense reactions, right? Just laugh with the gentleness of remembering that our true selves are of light and joy. And then we can even laugh at like, oh boy, did I get bent out of shape there? Oh, how silly to get all worked up over wet tablecloth. Right? And that the more we can do that in the moment with something that feels easy, or in another moment with something that feels more challenging, just practicing, trying to see it with a little humor, the more we are producing that positive neurochemistry in our brain, the more we are laying in the cross wiring, that when those things happen, there's a wired in laughter. Both of those things are helping us to transform ourselves into joy-biased people with brains flooded with positive neurotransmitters. So give it a try, or give it a try to retell my stories, right? To feed your brain just by telling those stories that it's okay. It's all okay. It's all okay. All is well. All is well. All is well. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Spending this time together is precious to me. And may today surprise and delight us. Bye.